Are going to join us on the way after 9 o'clock this evening. Brian O'Driscoll gives his verdict on the Lions' third test against South Africa. The text number is 53106. We're at Off the Ball on Twitter. And look, I got to be honest with you, sometimes these days happen. After that, not much else went down. It was just one of those weekends. We might struggle to fill the show, I got to be honest. Pretty quiet out there. So look, you can trust us. We're going to knock heads together. We'll find something else to talk about. Just give us a couple of minutes here. We'll come up with something.
Mentality of I'm kind of a strong-minded person, so once I set my mind on anything, then I can achieve it,
Kellie is a fantastic and amazing human being, first and foremost. She loves boxing. She wants to be the best. She is the best in the world at the moment. We can see her going out to Tokyo winning the gold medal. If all our stars are aligned, she's that special.
I was going down the wrong pathway. Academically, not very smart, but street-wise, very smart. Boxing is very well known in the inner city. There's a boxing club on every second corner nearly. So that was how I ended up getting into boxing. And the discipline in boxing is the best discipline that you could have, really.
Pillars of the arch, so that when I left, I'd always leave me mark.
Olympic final, gold medal on offer. Kellie Harrington, Beatriz Ferreira. Here we go.
You never know, when someone is born or when they're on the journey, if they're going to be an Olympic champion. But I think when as soon as she got to the Olympics, I felt that this is it. That's our stage, you know what I mean?
Wrapped in the curves of your avenue.
Left jab. Lovely right again. And a swing and a miss from Ferreira. Harrington boxing absolutely brilliantly in there. Can she persuade the judges?
No more. They said we had nothing, but we had it all. Shouting up the flats from the rooftop.
I still don't see myself as anything special because I'm not I'm still do the same things all the time. I haven't got superpowers or anything. I'm just a normal person, and it's great. I love it, but I also love people being real and saying, yeah, you might be a world champion, but you still have to do this. You're still you're no better than anyone else. We're all human. We're all equal.
Again, going to take a backward step. What a fight this is! Beautiful left, straight down the throat from Harrington.
To be able to give my community, Dublin, Ireland, something to be excited about and look forward to. That's the real emotional part, that means so much, to be able to make people smile and let them have something to be happy about, There's not a lot to be happy about at the moment, so this will lift people, hopefully.
Last few seconds, surely Harrington has done enough in the lightweight final. Bang! There's the bell. What a performance.
Hakuna Matata. It means no worries for the rest of your days.
She's done it! Olympic champion, Kellie Harrington. Gold for Harrington. Gold for the darling of Dublin.
She's a hero, Kellie. You done it. Thanks God. And thank our lady. And all your good neighbours and friends. 3 cheers for Kellie.
Yeah, amazing. So Eric Donovan is on the way. We're looking forward to talking to Eric. And then in the next 20 minutes or so, Michael Darren McCauley is going to join us, a man working in the Portland Road, Dublin 1 area for a number of years now and doing great work there. He's a good friend of the Harrington family. I think he was at the house for a lot of today. So he's going to join us around 7:30 as well. I'm sure a man who can appreciate sporting achievement when he sees it. So what more can you say about Kellie Harrington? Well, quite a bit, hopefully. Nathan Murphy, evening to you.
Evening, Joe.
Richie McCormack, how you doing?
Hey, Joe, you well?
Very well. So this was an extraordinary performance, Nathan. I think you can start with the performance, really, and then we can talk about the scenes and how amazing it all was, because I spoke to someone who really knows their boxing on the eve of the fight, and they kind of said, oh, look, realistically, my heart says what it says, but my head tells me that Harrington will probably just come up short here, and this guy really knows his boxing, or so I thought. I've been on to him several times since. And then Eric Donovan was making the point, you'd like to see Harrington get off to good start, win the first round, like maybe mightn't be in her armoury to chase a fight necessarily. So, first start crucial, as it has been across all the fights really at the games and beyond. And so with those two points ringing in my ears when she lost the first 3-2, I resigned myself to, okay, it's going to be split decision defeat and one of those things. And then bang, 5-0, 5-0. It was just an exhibition from that point on. It was absolutely extraordinary performance.
It's hard not to smile when you're listening to that montage, to everything that we've seen over the past sort of 36 hours or so since she finally got that gold medal. It's just been a real coming together of the people of Dublin, the people of Ireland, and a shared joy in just the brilliance of Kellie Harrington. And I'm with you that in one way you look at an Olympic final like this and you get caught up in the emotion and think, well, we know that Kellie Harrington as a world champion is going to go there and she should win this. But then the more previews that I listened to in the build-up, you thought, well, actually, this will almost take a bit of an upset for Kellie Harrington to win this. And I was like you, when she lost that first round, thought, there ain't no way back here. But the resilience, the grit, the brilliance that she showed has sparked a sort of national outpouring that it feels like we haven't seen in a long time. Without question, I think right now our most popular sports person, move away Shane Lowry for a little while, Kellie Harrington is right there. And I've been addicted to watching all the videos from Portland Row yesterday morning from the family members who we now all know on pretty personal terms, it seems. And long may she reign. She'll be home tomorrow, flying into Dublin Airport around 2:00, and her life is never going to be the same again.
No, indeed. Scenes from Portland Row were absolutely gorgeous, Richie, as well in the morning. I think they added to the general emotion of things, and the big screen erected, and you could see the note outside the house. We had Joel, her brother, on yesterday, and he was saying it was just to ask for a bit of privacy during the fight, because just give us these 9 minutes, okay, and then we're yours. And I think they have been everybody's for the last 24 hours since. But
well, that's the best video, I think, Joe, isn't it? The video of them opening the door for the first time after the fight has finished, and dozens and dozens of people just running down the street to celebrate with them, and then finally unleashing themselves to the world where they realise their daughter, their sister, is an Olympic champion. It's just glorious.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, everybody running up from the big screen, Richie, I likened it yesterday to like a Black Friday sale where they suddenly open the doors and it's like, go free. And I mean, they're sprinting up to the Harrington household, and like what becomes so apparent, as Nathan says, when the Harringtons fling their door open to go and meet them, is these are neighbours and friends who spend a lot of time together. There's a closeness there. These aren't just like, oh, how are you? We nod heads at each other every kind of a week or two when we're taking out the bins. There's just, proper, lovely, beautiful community. I think we'd all be envious of in some ways. But that was the moment for me as well, where you just thought, God, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like yesterday, when the pictures kept rolling in throughout the day, there were Cork and Kilkenny fans essentially paying pilgrimage to the road and to the house. Like they wanted to stop by and get their picture taken outside because it had become such a place of national importance. In UK terms, it would have a blue plaque erected outside it even within 24 hours. But it was magical stuff to see. Kieran Cunningham has made the point on the show several times. Like these games and Irish successes in them kind of unify people on a local level, and they identify with people on a local level much more than I think any other sport, possibly bar GEA, would do. Like these are people from your area going to the biggest stage in the world and performing brilliantly, whether it's the lads Paul and Finton from Skibbereen, or whether it's Kelly from Portland Row. Like these are people that are around about the area every day of the week almost, and they're able to kind of keep track of their progress and see how far they've come from being a nipper towards being a world superstar and somebody performing on the Olympic stage. And it would bring a tear to a glass eye seeing the reaction of stuff yesterday, seeing the big screen up around the corner in the flats. Like it was just absolutely superb. Like that was that moment where they're obviously cheering in front of the screen and to listen to Hugh's call. Like that's equivalent to the scenes we see from The Point and the RDS from Italia 90. Like they're up there. Like it really is something that can be replayed down through the years, and she's deserving of every plaudit she gets, because going through the interviews that she's done down through the years for us in the past 2 or 3 in particular, like she's so self-effacing, she's so down to earth, and she's the kind of person that you'd wish success for, even if you didn't know what she was at, even if she was just a regular person, even if she was just working in St. Vincent's and that was all. Like you'd wish that she'd have a brilliant job in there and she'd go on to a brilliant life. But the fact that she has this added she mentioned she has no superpowers, but she does have a superpower being an excellent boxer. It just makes it all the better.
Yeah, and Eric Donovan will analyse the fight for us later on, and like he'll talk about the technical brilliance it takes to switch so seamlessly from orthodox to southpaw, and there's loads going on there in that fight that maybe the more casual observers, I suppose, aren't seeing immediately. So it really was a phenomenal performance, and under the circumstances of knowing I've lost the first round, generally you don't come back from losing the first round. I've got to keep composure here and chase this methodically and not get desperate, and to pick off the Brazilian fighter that way is just so impressive. I mean, really looking forward to it in a week or two, or maybe when things die down, where she analyses the fight a little bit herself, because even afterwards, Nathan, Joe Stack was saying to her in RT, well, you won the second 5-0 and you won the third 5-0, and she was saying, oh, did I win the third 5-0 as well? Okay, right. And he was saying, what did you do, or like what happened in there? And she's like, I don't have a clue. You know, I was in some kind of zone. I couldn't break it down for you now, but I do look forward to hearing about how she managed to, you know, really keep things on such an even keel after that first round, because when it's your life's work, it's very easy to get a little bit desperate or to force the issue a touch.
Well, just this incredible balance of, as you say, keeping an even keel while also knowing exactly what is at stake, because she was talking about just loving every minute of it, even after she had lost that first round, thinking, this is great, this is a proper fight, this is as tough as I've ever been tested, this is an Olympic final, this is exactly where I want to be. That to somehow have that self-awareness while you're in the biggest moment and minutes of your life, to think, and it does seem as though she did have that balance of, well, even if I don't get gold, I will feel I've given absolutely my everything and my all, and will have left it all out there, so there's nothing more I can do, and to have that sort of confidence in herself. But yeah, she seemed to enjoy every minute of this week, of these last fortnight, of the games, of being a part of it, of understanding maybe what a special games these have been, and I suppose with the delay in the year as well, fully appreciating that it may not actually have ever happened for her, but yeah, thank God it did, because you know, you just cannot wait to see what happens next with Kellie Harrington, not just in the ring, but I think outside the ring as well.
Did you cry as a matter of interest? Did you have a tear or two?
No, the anthem always sets me going weirdly, even though I'm the least patriotic person in the world. There's something about the anthem when it gets going, I'm like, ah, yes.
Yeah. Richie?
Were you?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, I mean, and I don't, I cry at films all the time, cry at drama and movie all the time, absolute blubber when it comes to them, but sport, I don't cry. The only 3 times have been Katie Taylor, and I was there, and it was when she did the lap of honour, because Katie's such a reserved figure, and was more so even then, before she's had to kind of, I guess, give a bit more as a professional. So for her to do a lap of honour with the flag over her head was, got to give me goosebumps now, because I was there, and you know, the Irish crowd were there. It was just the most amazing moment. I felt like a lot of people suddenly cried then when she did that. Less beautiful, I'm sure you'll say, Richie, but also, I don't know why, who knows why these things happen. When Tiger Woods was hugging his children after winning the Masters, that got me, because of what he'd been through, and I just thought, my God, the kids have been through so much, and what a moment for them. And now, yeah, Harrington, I was really surprised, a proper little blubber. And so I don't know, Richie, of my holy trinity there, 2/3 are Dublin women punching the heads off other people, so I don't know what it is about that.
Katie's a Wicklow girl.
Of course, excuse me, well, yeah. Apologies. Wow. That won't go down well.
No, it won't. She's going to poke the head off you now for that. No, I'd be up there. Yesterday morning was an exceptional case, because I think when you're awake that early, as I think a lot of us were, I don't think you're capable, or at least I'm not anyway, of doing anything bar just existing. So you're just lying there with your eyes open. So by the end of the fight, when the fight was awarded to her, I was aware that it was still 6:20, and it was in my interests not to wake up the rest of the house. So there was a silent punch of the air, and there was a little bit of a tear formed when the anthem, as Nathan alluded to there as well for myself, when that played. And I wouldn't be a patriotic person either. Yeah. But yeah, Katie was up there too in 2012, and I remember Darren Clark at the Ryder Cup as well in 2006. That was one, particularly after his wife had just died so close beforehand. Yeah, and he was greeted after his important putt by the kids and all that kind of stuff. That set me off, I remember at the time.
That's fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, there's a pantheon of and a very small room where those moments are kind of stored. And Kellie's and Katie's definitely belong to both. Oh yeah, God yeah.
2017, Crow Park, there's moments after that match that I don't want to remember too fondly.
No, we're talking happy tears here. God, I'm just thinking here as you're talking there, how many times have people from Bray had to say in their life, it's in Wicklow? I'm so sorry. Unforgivable.
Wow, that's a horror show.
I know. So let's start the news round. It is, as ever, with thanks to Gillette. Put your best face forward with their new and improved razors. Like I said, Michael Darragh-Macaulay is going to join us very shortly. He knows the family well, knows Kelly well, and has been doing brilliant work in the area. Like, that's a really interesting story all in itself, parallel to Kellie Harrington. So looking forward to having Michael Darragh on. Eric Donovan will join us in the next hour. We'll also do hurling then, and Brian O'Driscoll with us after 9. So Richie, needless to say, you're starting with Kellie Harrington. She's back tomorrow, we're hearing.
Yeah, she's due to return to Dublin tomorrow after securing that lightweight gold in Tokyo yesterday morning. She beat Beatrice Ferreira by unanimous decision to become just Ireland's third ever boxing gold medalist. Dublin City Council say they'll make an announcement regarding a celebration in the coming days, but say it will have to comply with COVID-19 regulations. Meanwhile, coaches at Harrington's old boxing club are hoping her success will encourage politicians to give them more funding. The Corinthian City in Dublin's north inner city currently has one toilet and shower facilities that are used mainly by males. Harrington's gold medal win at the Tokyo Olympics has been roundly praised, of course, as will be by politicians. And Steve Molloy, who coaches at the club, told OTB AM this morning that he hopes they'll also give the club the funding it needs to make badly needed improvement.
And are you guys going to be able to deal with that influx? Do you have enough coaches? Do you have enough facilities? Because there was definitely a story that the toilet facilities aren't what they need to be.
Oh, there's no doubt that we have enough coaches and volunteers. That's been fantastic over the years with Corinthians boxing clubs. But at the moment, now we've only one toilet in the club, and it's mostly for boys. So over the next couple of weeks or couple of months, there's a couple of local TDs and local senators going to try and sort something out to get girls' changing rooms and girls' toilets. Because at the minute now, it's just a bit hectic. We have got about 10 to 15 girls in the club at the minute. But having them to queue up, and for the coaches, trying to coach the kids, having to go in and clean the toilets every 5-10 minutes after the boys so the girls can go in, it's not the right preparation for girls to be coming. We have one particular girl that plays for Shelbourne Football Club, and she's in the boxing as well. But surely to God, when she goes up to Shelbourne and she has all these brilliant facilities at Shelbourne, and then she comes down and train then the evening time down to Corinthians, and she has to queue up and wait for the toilets to be cleaned for her to go into the toilets. That's no way to go, and hopefully that doesn't drive that young girl away from the club, because she's
that's quite a stark backdrop, Nathan.
Yeah, and when the League of Ireland has been held up as the prime example of what facilities can be, you know, what boxing is in a pretty dire state, and listen, it's not a welcoming environment in any way for any young girl to go into that type of scenario. They need to capitalise on the bandwagon that is going to run over the coming days and weeks and try and secure that funding. But you just wish there was a proper long-term plan around every part of society, because as Richie touched on, like, the great thing about watching the Olympics, it's been every part of the country. You look at the Olympians, their backgrounds couldn't be more different by and large, from up in Belfast down to Cork, you name it. So, you know, a proper conversation around what sort of facilities every type of sport needs in every part of the country is badly needed. It's probably unlikely to happen. They've obviously done brilliant things out in Abbottstown and the high performance unit. But I think Richie touched on it yesterday. To get to that high performance unit, a lot of stuff has to be put in place. And that in boxing and in many, many sports at underage level just isn't there. But when the success of Katie Taylor and Kellie Harrington, how we still have those type of scenarios.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
Richie, text from Harry in Louth, and Harry's not the only person to put on his promotional dream hat and come up with this. She should turn pro, fight Katie, it would fill Croke Park, says Harry in Louth. I mean, I certainly see the appeal of it. I hate the thought of it. I don't know, I mean, who are we all cheering against there, really? I mean, no one's going to feel good after that, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it does happen. For numerous reasons. I'll be honest and say I don't know if Harrington would turn pro. She'd probably be offered it, and there's probably scope to do it. And we've seen the age profile of several boxers in the lightweight division professionally have been, you know, upwards in age, as we'd probably be used to seeing for other athletes. But there's something about Kellie Harrington I just don't see turning pro. The thing that occurred to me during the whole of yesterday's fight was how good a pro Beatrice Ferreira would make.
Yeah.
I mean, she was boxing almost a professional style throughout that fight, and throughout the tournament. I watched her semi-final against Potkinen as well, and it was the same. And that's where the great fear came from for Harrington. Yes, that she is so powerful, so quick. She's got youth on her side and everything. She pretty much ticks all the boxes for someone who will be turning pro, and she would be the one I'd say to look out for. I know there's talk about like filling Croke Park and all this kind of stuff. It's fantastical thinking. I think we leave it there, but it's not something that'll happen.
Yeah, Nathan, would you like to see Katie Taylor and Kellie Harrington in a ring?
You see, it's easy to say yes, and the novelty of it and the excitement it would bring. It is you need a good guy and a bad guy, a good girl and a bad girl in these things.
Yeah.
And who is that? Like, you're talking about two much loved figures. You don't really want it to descend into some sort of forced slagging match to generate excitement around it. Let them go and both do their own thing and be successful and keep going and enjoy their careers.
Yeah. Now, Richie, under almost any other circumstances, I think news like this wouldn't be waiting until 23 minutes past 7. So Tyrone Kerry and the knock-on effects.
Yeah, Sunday's All-Ireland football semi-final meeting of Tyrone and Kerry has been deferred. The GAA confirmed today the game will take place at Croke Park, but on August 21st. A number of Tyrone players were forced to isolate after a COVID-19 outbreak among the panel. So it also means the All-Ireland final has been pushed back to September 4th. Filling the gap, the LGFA have confirmed that the All-Ireland ladies football semi-clash of Meath and Cork has been switched from Tuam to Croke Park this Sunday. The game will be part of a double bill alongside the All-Ireland Under-20 football decider, which is contested between Offaly and Roscommon.
Rich, do they give a throw-in time for the All-Ireland final? Is it like 3:30 as standard? Is it a Saturday evening? Because obviously the Republic of Ireland are in action on that same day.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds and I'll probably be able to tell you.
Nathan,
I didn't see a time on the statement. As you say, usually on a Saturday, the game would get underway at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the Ireland match is at 5 o'clock. I'm sure RTE would prefer if both of them weren't going head to head at 5 o'clock. So maybe there's scope to play it a little bit earlier, have a 3 o'clock kickoff, because the Republic of Ireland game, I can't imagine will be moving. That's a UEFA fixture. So listen, it's unprecedented circumstances.
I'd imagine the guards won't be too happy about it either, because even if it does throw in at 3:30, like there is a chance that you're probably going to have some overlap in terms of people travelling and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not the most ideal situation, but I guess they've been forced into the corner.
Because Ireland.
What did the Sligo footballers make of this? Having been forced to withdraw from the championship last year because of COVID issues. I think this is absolutely the right decision, that an All-Ireland semi-final would be cancelled.
Yeah.
But it's one rule for one rule for the others.
Yeah, I'm sure that thoughts crossed their minds. I mean, for a second there, I had no idea what you were talking about.
Sligo in the semi-final.
Sorry, Sligo? What are Sligo thinking about it?
What are Sligo thinking about right now?
If you're in Sligo, text your thoughts 53106.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that Ireland match, by the way, is at the Aviva Stadium on the 4th. So so if that's 5, and if you put the All-Ireland final at 3, I mean, for a TV audience, you're getting away with it anyway, obviously, barring extra time, and I'm sure Dublin can handle 2 games in the general vicinity at that time as well. So yeah, you would think. I mean, geez, I can't think the GAA want to go up against an Ireland match. Now, I suspect an Ireland final probably beats Ireland against Azerbaijan if people are double screening, but it should be avoidable, hopefully. So we'll bring you news on that when we get it. We might check in with the GAA or drop them a line and see.
On Croke Park, how long is the queue going to be outside Kellie Harrington's house before every All-Ireland match? Can they turn it into some sort of museum? Should they, they have to find a way of making some cash out of this?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, so I presume she might be paraded out during the Dublin Mayo match. Or bit of Dublin arrogance. They'll probably be saying, let's wait until the final. We know we're going to get there.
No.
Do you know that?
If you'll be there this Saturday.
If you're planning things, you'd say, let's wait till it's 40,000 when we're in the final. Isn't that what they'll be saying? Like, we'll deal with Mayo and then we'll be in the final.
With the Dublin panel, Mayo are going to be pinging the words of Joe Molloy to the dressing room.
Yeah, wow. No, she'll be at Croke Park this Saturday. Then at the Aviva for that match, whether she likes it or not.
The Azerbaijan match.
Yes.
She will
They'll
not.
all want a piece.
Down the road. She's not on final to watch the Dubs win again. So Cork then through to an Ireland final. First time in a while.
First time in 8 years, yeah. Kieran Kingston's side beating Kilkenny 137 to 132 after a thriller after extra time at Croke Park yesterday. Cork coach Dermot "The Rock" O'Sullivan says their pace helped them fend off Brian Cody's charges.
You know, we're comfortable on the ball. We've comfortable runners with the ball. There's no hiding away from it. We can't hide what we have. You know, it was like the game. It was laid bare in front of everyone today, and the second biggest day of the year. So look, we're delighted that it shone through at times. Kilkenny stifled us. They made it very, very hard for us, for our runners, to break the tackles. But we stuck with it, and there was great perseverance and calmness about our lads when we're finding ourselves in them situations. So very pleasing.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that later on. It was an amazing game yesterday in Cork, really impressive. And a final story, Richie. Most clubs, I think, would be too embarrassed to put this transfer through, but not Chelsea.
Yeah, this is really funny considering that Frank Lampard was told no when they were asking to buy Declan Rice back at an inflated price last year. But Romelu Lukaku has completed his medical ahead of a €115 million move from Inter to Chelsea. The fee would be a Chelsea club record, and they sold the Belgian striker to Everton 7 years ago for almost a quarter of that fee. Lukaku has scored 64 goals in 95 appearances during his 2 seasons with Inter, but they need the cash.
Oof. I mean, look, I know he's been very, very good. €115 million. This is not good value, Nathan.
On a player whose last appearances in the Premier League were not good. They were not impressive for Manchester United. And you're right, he's gone on and done brilliant things at Inter Milan and at international level. You're impressed with him every time he plays. And I do think he's up there, one of the best strikers in Europe. But the Manchester United experience is still very fresh in the memory. But listen, clearly they have a trust in Thomas Tuchel. But 100 million, we're now very quickly gone. In COVID times, gone from 100 million transfer, it'll never happen, to having 2 of them in the space of a week and waiting on the next one. Yeah. And the pressure of football clubs, Liverpool supporters looking at them going, well, where's our £100 million signing?
Yeah. There we are. The arms race is picking up. Nathan Murphy, thank you.
Cheers, Joe.
Richie McCormack, beautiful work on the montage. Thanks, Richie.
Cheers, lad. Thanks,
We're talking to Michael Darren McCauley about You Know Who next.
Check me out that, cause I'm doing it no hands. You proud of me? I hope you're tuning in. I made a promise to my mother, know I'm doing it.
To be able to give my community, Dublin, Ireland, something to